Good afternoon to you, good afternoon. My apologies for absence, I guess we'd say. It's been very, very kind of some of you to inquire after my welfare and prompt me to... I literally have just run the vacuum cleaner over the camera, and yep, we'll make an effort to show some of the nonsense that I've been getting up to. That's a light switch. Look at that, it works. Some of the progress has been rather backwards and forwards, and the big job that I've just been involved trying to get sorted involves this light switch. It had a wooden conduit which had some very, very old wiring in it, and one of my neighbours who knows about these things looked at it and said that is more than 50 years old. And boy oh boy, it was horrible, it needed changing. So we started following where the old wooden conduit went, and it went round the corner, and then it went along the wall, and then we didn't know where it went. Let me just change position, otherwise I'm going to fall down the stairs. That wouldn't be fun, would it? Yes, the old conduit ran along the wall there, but you couldn't see it because the old ceiling had fallen, and the old ceiling line, if we look here, you can see a change in colour. The ceiling had fallen that far and was covering the old wooden conduit. And I thought, that ain't good. So I thought, right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut about 2 feet of ceiling out along there so that I can get at the old wires and do remedial stuff to it. Well, that was never going to really work. I hit a piece of ceiling with an hammer, as you do, and the whole ceiling went doo-doo, like that, and I thought, what is actually holding the ceiling up? Now I've got a feeling it was not much more than cobwebs and such likes. So I took the lot down. Oh dear, dear, dear. It would have been no good making film of it, because all you would have seen would have been dust. Because between the ceiling and the floor above, there were mice nests. Mice nests? Mouses nests. Plural. Not so much plural as multiple. And it was wonderful. You know, you take a bit of ceiling down and all of the things that mice have eaten, and some of them that they've digested and left the remnants in the void between the ceiling and the floor, all go down the back of your collar. And yeah, it was great fun. So the ceiling came down, which in some respects it was handy, because of course it was a lath and plaster ceiling. It had been plastered over and plastered over and plastered over. The plaster was not much shy of an inch thick. Anyway, that took some doing, and yeah, it was great fun. And then I thought, right, do I simply throw a ceiling back, or do I make a feature of the old beams, the poutres? And I thought, well, yeah, we'll do that. We'll tidy these beams up a bit. They're an interesting mixture. The first one is oak, the second one is oak, the third one is oak, the fourth one is, I don't know, poplar, or anyway, it's a softwood, and then oak, and so on and so forth. And it's been fun cutting noggins to go in to put plasterboard onto, and as you can see, these beams aren't straight, so it wasn't as simple as getting a length of 40mm square or something, because you can't simply run timbers next to them. But anyway, we're this far along the job. Plenty still to do with that job. We also threw a different light fitting on, and temporarily there's a bit of conduit, because the job was actually about getting some wiring made sense of. There's the last little bit of the old wooden conduit, and I followed various wires, and I followed them down, and then I found that the electrician who had wired this house, that was all tucked tight in a box. I prized the cover off the box, and I thought, oh, actually I thought rather more than oh. So that's sort of going to occupy some thinking. One of the scary things that I discovered is the big thick wire runs up to a fuse, not to a fuse box, it goes up and it goes over and it comes down and it goes to a box with breakers and such like, and that's all good stuff. But every time anyone wanted to put another plug socket in, what they did, instead of running it through that box, they simply knitted it into connectors there. And then I realised that most of the wiring in this house does not go through any sort of protection, an old-fashioned fuse or a more modern fuse box. So we've got to do a bit of thinking about that and a bit of tidying up. I promise that I'll turn the electric off before I touch it. Now we'll come out between showers. It's been blustery and showery and then blustery again, and well, it's sort of brightened up nicely now. Down this far south we've not been affected by very much of the storms that England and Northern Europe have been having. I say England, Great Britain have been having. We've sort of caught some of the tail end of it, but nothing much. Hasn't even brought branches down off my neighbour's trees. Flowers are starting to flower and things like that, and yeah, you know, for those of you that have asked about my health and welfare, I'm good. I'm good. Sadly, not so all of my friends. Last week, last Wednesday, we lost one of our old friends. Some of us have sincerely and kindly said, well, you know, it was probably a blessing. He was 95. He'd been widowed several years, and he wasn't enjoying life. So yes, we think about our friend Victor, and sadly also, and quite a shock, we lost another of our friends. Not this weekend, but last weekend we went to the funeral of Sister Marie Emmanuel. If you look at her date of birth, you will understand that some of us find that a little bit scary. She was just a couple of years older than me. Bless her. Delightful lady. Blessedly, she didn't suffer at all. She passed in her sleep without even knowing she was ill, which, you know, that's the way to do it, I suppose. So I'm fine. Not all of my friends are, and you know, we'll think about them. And then, of course, some of my friends, well, yeah, he's a little monster. And in the background, I can hear, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, the midday Angelus bell is ringing. So we'll knock things on the head there and think about things we should think about at midday.